happening, guys? It's your boy Brian coming to you from Pennsylvania. Earlier this week we asked you all to send some questions for some of our riders. First I sat down with Taylor Robert and we got into his diet and nutrition, training plans, things like that. First question was, how was quarantine like?
Honestly, out here in Arizona, it's not been too bad. We have pretty light restrictions as far as the governor's still encouraging everybody to go outside and exercise, go ride your bike, go hike. You know, I've still been riding my dirt bike, but fortunately I live right on the border of the national forest, which is where I usually ride during the week anyway. I just ride right out into the desert. So yeah, honestly, for me, the day-to-day activities haven't changed that much. It's just the racing on the weekends that have really taken a hit.
Your friends Ned and Cindy, they want to know about your diet.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't have a super strict diet that I follow. I just try to eat as healthy as possible and be conscious of it. But it's, I'm not, super strict or super structured on exactly what I eat. But, I usually just eat a pretty healthy breakfast. Like on race mornings, I'll have oatmeal packed with all kinds of, nuts and berries and cashew milk and stuff like that. Just try to get as many nutrients as I can in there. For lunch, I'll usually do a salad or sandwich, wrap, burrito, something along those lines. And then for dinner, we usually try to make dinner here at home, and we'll do, fish or chicken along with rice, couscous, maybe some sweet potatoes, and baked. We usually like to do baked asparagus or baked broccoli.
Felton from MotoEffeX wants to know where you see yourself in 5 years. My question is, where do you see yourself in 20 years? Because I think you'll still be racing in 5 years.
Yeah, I don't think I'll still be racing in 20 years. That's for sure.
No,
but not to say it's not possible, because I'm 29 now, and I think Mike Brown just retired, and I think he's 48 or something like that. So it's definitely possible. But, I would love to still be doing something in the industry. I've definitely won a lot of races and experienced a lot of different things in the racing community. So I'd like to share that knowledge with people. And my thought has always been, help design courses and help at ISD. I've been a big part of ISD for the last 10 years. So just helping the team with that, maybe going and helping the new riders and making sure they do all their homework to be as fast as they can, stuff like that. And then, even with KTM, it'd be cool to just be a brand ambassador and maybe be a part of R&D or something like that.
Okay. So we have Insta James here. He wants to know, what is your nutrition plans for racing? Do you have any different dieting when you're actually racing on the weekends?
No, not really. Like I said, I just kind of, when I get up the morning of the race, I do a super nutrient-packed oatmeal. I'll go through that again. I do some old-fashioned rolled oats, cashew milk, hemp seeds, chia seeds. Usually I'll throw in either some walnuts or almonds in there, and then either some berries or cut up an apple and throw it on top. So that's kind of my go-to thing when I eat in the morning. And then, our races are usually around noon, so I don't really get in another meal before the races. I don't like racing on a full stomach anyway. So if I feel like I'm hungry, I'll just snack a little bit leading up to the gate drop. But that's pretty much my go-to for race day.
Out of all the racers that do you know anybody that just eats terrible?
He's probably gonna kill me for saying this, but Destry Abbott for sure.
Really?
Yeah, he has a major sweet tooth.
That's funny. Favorite restaurant to stop at on your way to a Worcs race?
So I just found this restaurant. We actually found it like 2 years ago. My dad and brother and I did an adventure ride on street bikes through all of Southern California. And we found this restaurant just outside of Gorman. And the last 2 races that we had in Taft, I stopped there like 3 or 4 times on the way to and from the race. But it's just this cafe called the Red Dot Cafe, and it's really good food.
Red Dot. I'm trying to think of where that's at. I'm pretty familiar with that area. That's where I'm from.
So
I've never been there.
I forget what the name of the town is, just north of Gorman on the 5. There's that little mountain town there. And it's
Yeah,
kind of,
Fraser Park.
yeah, Fraser Park. Yeah, so it's right off that Fraser Park exit.
Okay. How long have you been racing Worcs?
Oof. That's a good one. So my very first Works race was in 2012. My parents' buddies were going up to the race in Washougal, and they're like, "Hey Taylor," I was racing full-time motocross at the time. They're like, "Hey, you should come do this race at Washougal. Like, you might even get some practice on the Washougal motocross track." That's kind of how they talked me into it. And so they took my bike up there, and then my mom and I just flew up to the race, and because they made like a week trip out of it, and I had school, so my mom and I just flew up there, and that was my first Works race ever in 2002. And then from that point on, I pretty much always did like 1 or 2 races a year. I did like a couple races in 03, a couple in 04, a couple in 05. And then 2006 was the first time that I raced the full series. And I've been pretty much racing the full series ever since.
Yep, you're a regular.
Yeah.
How was it your parents that got you started in racing?
Yeah, definitely. My parents were a huge influence. It kind of, stems even a little bit further back from that. My great grandpa was really big into motorcycles, mostly street bikes, but he got my grandpa and his brothers into dirt bikes when they were really young. And then they rode and had fun riding. They all got into street bikes as well. And then he got my dad into it, and then my dad got me into it. But I was the first person in the family to actually start racing. And then my dad started racing when I started racing, just for fun. He always rode the Vet B class. He actually raced the Work Series from, I think he was the Vet, like the 30 plus B and 40 plus B champion in 06, 07, 08, and 09.
Right on. That's cool. How did you like racing over in Europe?
Europe was really cool. I learned a ton in Europe. Those guys, they take it super serious. That's kind of where I learned to just really kind of pick apart the tracks and analyze lines. Those guys, I mean, a lot of people will probably notice that I go walk the tracks at the Works races. They always see me out there on the track, and I kind of learned that from the Europeans. I mean, they'll go walk one track like 4 times before the race starts and just really pick apart the lines. So I learned a lot in that aspect, and more than anything, I learned how to ride mud, because I think 6 out of the 8 races over there were mudders. So it was a really cool experience. Learned a lot, got to see a lot of cool places. But like I said before, I'm kind of a homebody too. So I actually did, I think it was like 12 races in Europe that year. So that was and still living here in Arizona, that was a lot of traveling back and forth.
That's tough, man. I can see that. So last question for you, since we've been in this quarantine, what do you miss the most that's been taken away from you here in quarantine?
Just that racing vibe, honestly. I miss racing. I miss being out at the track with all the fans and everybody, and that adrenaline rush that you get from that gate drop is always pretty good. So I definitely miss that aspect. Hopefully we can get back to that soon and see the Works family and all the fans. And I'm excited. Like I said, my training schedule, I haven't really changed much. I've still been riding a lot, mountain biking a lot, and just trying to stay as fit as I can so that when we get the green light, I'm ready to go.
Well, we all know that you work probably the hardest out there than anybody else, man. Thank you for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you in Mesquite. If not, maybe Vegas.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Then we had Matt Hancock in the 93 car, player.
Mr. Hancock, thanks for joining me here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
We have some Instagram questions for you.
Right.
These ones seem to be a little bit a get to know you type more than a racing actual questions.
All right, let's see what they got.
So let's go with the first one. Where do you live?
I live in Whitman, Arizona, just
Where's
outside
that?
of Phoenix. Kind of a lot of the racing people have been around for a while. It's kind of a speed world.
Oh, okay.
We used to race there quite a bit.
The old speed world.
Yeah, miss that place.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to high school in Wickenburg, Arizona, where I grew up. Then I went to college at Arizona State, there in Tempe, Arizona. So I haven't gone too far from home.
And what you major in?
I got a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. So I went and did that in about 4 years, 4.5 years, and now I don't even use it every day at least.
What's your favorite food, Mr. Hancock?
Oh, probably steak or chicken.
That's it?
Yeah, any way you cook it.
You're
I like
a simple man. All right, so actually a few people asked this question. What is the family business exactly?
So a family business, it's a farm. We farm across Arizona and do alfalfa, corn, wheat, cotton, watermelons, cantaloupe, kind of a little bit of everything. So that's what we do. So that's why I went to do the civil engineering thing and worked in that for a little while and decided to come back and work at the family farm.
And you guys have a lot of land, right? It's like the most land.
Yeah. Overall, we farm about 10,000 acres across Arizona, spread out a little bit over outside of Wickenburg a little bit, some south of Phoenix, and then some towards Yuma.
So are you driving the tractors, or what are you doing?
It depends on the day. Not as much anymore, but I like to. It's better than doing all the other stuff. I'd rather do that than do some of the business side of things more often. It's less stressful and more enjoyable. But every once in a while, I try and get in the tractor and spend some time in that. But a lot of times, just checking on things and making sure things are moving smoothly.
Right,
Yeah,
right
see
on.
me.
What was that?
I see me in the video finally.
Oh,
Been waiting for it.
was that you that went by?
Been staring at it for 10 minutes, waiting to see me.
All right, so now that you just saw yourself in your Polaris, what made you choose a Polaris?
And I started off on a 570. I was racing that and had pretty decent luck in that thing. And I switched to Can-Am for a year in 2015 and was able to drive for them. Before the X3 was out, it was in the XDS Maverick. So then I decided to switch back to Polaris after that, and I just have been with Polaris since. I mean, it's a great machine. The RS1's a blast. The Razor's a blast. And so I've just been in the same cars. Just recently this year built a new pro car, and before I just had the same car since 2016 and just kept driving it. So that's why I stayed with Polaris, just a reliable machine, been able to make work.
Michelle H. from Phoenix wants to know if you're single.
Yeah, I'm single.
All right.
I'm married to my work.
Work
and racing.
I'll have to see if I could find her and hook you guys up.
Uh-oh. Ag dating services.
You, hey, I'm good at it, man.
It's the only, you need another company started, Butter Dating.
Oh, no. I gotta get the pooper service up and running before I start another one, man.
They can share the same app.
All right, so Insta James Vibes has a few questions. This is for everybody. So, any nutrition plans for racing?
And the side-by-sides, no. I mean, it's just kind of go drive. More so when I was racing quads, a little bit, just was kind of careful not to eat too much before races. Tried to eat healthy and just was training a lot more then. So I was just trying to kick out a lot of carbs and a lot of the unhealthy sugars and stuff like that. But any more just in the side-by-sides, no, not so much. Just kind of stay hydrated and go out there and do my thing. Not change anything from the normal.
Where's your favorite place to go play riding?
To go play riding, I enjoy going up in northern Arizona in the summer when it's all cool up there, and or in the winter time down. I don't know. I'm pretty biased to Arizona. I love this place. Born and raised here, and if it's in the summer real hot, it's nice to go up north and get in the trees and enjoy that. Or even I love hunting, so in the wintertime, I'm always hunting out in the desert. So even just driving around out in the desert down here around Phoenix, it's pretty relaxing and enjoyable. Take the General out and go cruise around.
Favorite place to stop on your way to a Worcs race?
Favorite place to stop? I guess the only place we really stop is Love's Truck Stops. Stop, get fuel, get food, and keep on moving. Try and get there and get home. So get there as fast as we can, get home as fast as we can.
I'm a
But
flying J guy myself.
what's that?
But I'm a flying J guy myself. I like
You're
to
flying J. Got used to the Loves. Got the subway usually, or we stop in Kingman, outside of Vegas, going all the races that way, and then try and not stop as much as we can in California. But usually we stop at Loves.
So last question for you, buddy. How's
All right.
how's quarantine life? How's it affected you out there, and what's your normal now?
Not a whole lot's really changed for me. I mean, basic hygiene is all the same, but work didn't stop. It kind of made things more of a pain trying to get parts or get things, get home late and get groceries, do stuff like that. It just makes it a little bit more of a pain. But my day-to-day things haven't really changed. Still go to work, still go home, but I didn't go out and about a whole lot, so it didn't change a lot for me. So ready for it to be over and everybody to be healthy, but it hasn't changed a ton for me. Just made things more pain.
Yeah, I think we're all ready for it to be over, man.
Luckily I get to get out of my house every day, so can't complain about that. So it makes it nice.
I think farming is quite essential. So
I hope so.
I don't think
It
your
pays the bills, so I hope it stays essential. Keep us around.
Right on, bud. Thanks for joining me. Have a happy Easter.
You bet. Thanks. I'm excited for the next Worcs race. Hopefully get back rolling and get back after Vegas and get back in it.
Yeah. Right on, Matt. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
You bet. Thanks.
The next person we talked to was Austin Walton, and on the 50 bike, factory rider for Husky out in Reno, Nevada.
Mr. Austin Walton, how long have you been racing for?
So I've been racing since I started racing when I was 6. I started riding a dirt bike when I was 4. It took me pretty much 16 years to get to the factory level of a team. Last year was my first ever actually team ride. So I'd say 17, 18 years we've been riding a dirt bike.
So this is a good one for you. Stacy from San Diego UCSD wants to know if you're single.
Yes, I am single.
Single as a dollar bill, ladies and gentlemen.
Single. Yep. That's
I'll have to find out what it is.
Yep. Definitely.
All right, so here's a good one. How does it feel to be a factory racer, and how did it happen?
So first off, it's a dream come true for me. It's always been something, I post stuff in my room, on my walls, and kind of factory is that's when, for me at least, that's when I knew I made it. It was a long process, but to become factory and have all the perks that we do have now, it's not that I didn't have good stuff before. It's just the all the people that are involved with the program, suspension guys, being able to go out and test suspension, having that opportunity. You can make your suspension so much better having a guy that has the knowledge to be there with you to give them feedback, and it to just keep getting better and better. Sometimes it doesn't get better, but you usually find that point where it just you're just whoa, all right, that's where I want it. That worked really good. But you can go backwards sometimes too. But just the whole conjunction of the team, team manager Timmy, and just everybody having a team or a mechanic. Not having my brother as my mechanic is pretty cool. He can be my brother now and show up to the races. He still loves that stuff, but just the whole team, aspect of just having somebody take care of my bikes, not having to worry about working on them or hey, I got to change the top end or I got to get this part ordered. It's kind of all right, ride the bike as hard as you want. And if it breaks, it breaks, just get a hold of my mechanic and, they get it fixed for me and I get right back out there.
My question would be, now that you've made it, how much pressure do you feel now to do better, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's being on a factory team, you're pretty much expected to, win in a sense, but you got to be in the limelight of, the podium side of it. And honestly, I wouldn't say my parents put a lot of pressure on me in a bad way, but I had a lot of pressure on me coming up through the ranks. We'd go to Loretta Lynn's and my parents, drop, a couple grand and drive a motorhome across the US or across, like a really good distance. And to get there, and it's literally just for me. They showed up and I'm supposed to perform. So I've been put in scenarios over time, before this point of my career that have, kind of conditioned me for, being factory now. If it would have happened sooner, I think I still would have been prepared, but for how long it did take, I think just the longer it does take, the more prepared I got for it. So don't get me wrong, I still have pressure, still have nerves, but I don't really feel that kind of pressure from the team. They're really good about that. They're just there to support and make me perform to my best. So I don't really feel too much pressure from those guys.
So speaking about your parents, you live in the Reno area, right?
Yep.
Your whole life?
Yeah, so I grew up like more downtown Reno, and then I want to say I was like we moved from Reno out to, I say Spanish Springs, but really like our address is Sparks. We're like right there on the edge. We're basically kind of just out of town, more towards the desert side. It's not as busy out here. It's starting to get kind of busy. A lot of people are moving in, starting to realize it's kind of a hot spot, but it's a perfect place for me to ride. I mean, going from the moto stuff, like it was the worst place to be, but for off-road now, we have so much stuff for me to ride. I literally just go out my back door and take off, and I got hundreds of miles of just perfect off-road for training for what I do.
I don't think I ever told you, but my family lives in Reno.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I haven't been out there in a while, but I used to always come up there right where you're from. In the Spanish Springs area. I used to play softball at
really?
the Golden Eagle, is it?
Yep. They actually closed that, or no, I think Golden Eagle's open, but there's another one that they closed. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. That's awesome. It's such a small world.
I never lived out there, but when I was a kid, my mom moved up there, and I've been going up. When I lived out in SoCal, I'd be driving up there a few times a year, but now
so you know what that 9-hour drive is.
Yeah, I never get up there. It's nice though. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. No, summers are super nice around here. Winters kind of they make you appreciate the summers a lot more. Like you'll have some bad winters, and like this year we got really lucky. It was perfect for me. It rained and it wasn't cold enough to where I couldn't ride, so I had plenty of wet riding days, which was awesome. Normally it gets just cold and you just can't do anything with it. But yeah, no, I love it here.
Tell me about your nutrition plans for racing.
Okay. So basically I work out at Regulus Fit, and my coach sets me up with a macronutrients plan. So basically I have a certain amount of carbs, fats, and proteins that I have to hit every single day. So I hit, like right now I'm at 300 carbs, 75 on fat. I'm kind of low to where I normally am. Normally, like when I'm racing and in the mix of it, I'm at 95 for fat. And that's like high for me. And then for protein, 205, I have to hit that. That stays pretty much the same even when I'm racing. I try to get my proteins in. Those are really important just to keep that muscle mass on and not burn that off, because he always told me that if you don't get enough protein in, that's what keeps your muscle mass on. So I mean, obviously that's pretty important to keep that, because you put a lot of effort into, in the gym and to get that stuff. So I try to stay away from as fatty of foods as possible. So I do a lot of chicken. I mean, that's pretty much all I eat. Mom kind of spoils me for dinner every once in a while, and she'll get me a steak, some red meat in there. But I try to stay away from like red meats and whatnot because of the high fat that it has. And, just for my diet, I'm not saying that you can't eat fats, but I'm on more of I would say a high carb, low fat diet. Like for race weekends, he'll throw me up to 500 grams of carbs, and it's like the hardest thing ever to eat. So I'm just like literally like whatever I can find, if I can put some syrup, like, and that's the thing too, is a lot of people try to stay away from like processed stuffs. And I've been told that on race weekends, obviously we all have nerves, like I get nerves, and it's trying to just control those things. But the only foods that I can get down are, say like a Rice Krispie treat or some syrup on a pancake, put some chocolate chips in there, trying to just get that food down. So you can eat a cookie if you want, but trying to get more carbs in there, and try not to get so many fats. So I try to stay with like pancakes, because those you can get a lot of carbs with low fats. And basically we're just trying to fuel myself so I can have food to burn for those 2-hour long races.
All right, so let's stay on the topic of food. What's your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant is Yard House, and they don't have one here in Reno, but that place, I always go there. I get the Parmesan crusted pork loin. It's got like a cherry glaze on it, a crusted like outside, and it is the best. I love that place.
So where's your favorite place to stop on your way to a Worcs race?
It kind of just depends. If I'm going to like Glen Helen, Shat's Bakery, they have like super good fresh sandwiches. I always have to stop there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There or Rubio's.
Rubio's, really?
Yeah. They don't have one of those up here either, so that's kind of like another hot spot for us to stop at.
What's your career goals for after racing?
I don't know. Find a girl, settle down, have some kids, stay with the racing industry, because I grew up in it. My dad did off-road racing, and then he got me into dirt bikes because that was his dream, and he couldn't do it when he was younger. But racing's in my blood. Any type of racing, trophy trucks. I love the off-road side of the dirt bike industry. Just be around that stuff and just try and find some part of the industry to work into and just be involved with it.
We'll get Stacy from San Diego to hit you up and start working on that settling down.
Yeah. Yep.
So last question for you. Now that we're in quarantine, what do you miss the most?
Probably getting together, at the gym. Our gym that we have here, it's like when we do like a group workout, it's always fun. Like some days we'll do like a workout like called the Murph or whatnot, and you get basically all the people from the gym, they all group up and do like a workout, and we just grind it out together. I really do enjoy working out, that side of it, and just the fact of doing it with people and bringing people along and helping the ones that might not be as far along as you, and just working together and making it through it. Well,
thanks for answering our questions there.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
Have fun out there in Reno.
Yeah, I will.
We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, Brian. You guys stay safe out there. We'll talk to you later.
Out in Atascadero, California, Mr. Bo Barron's out in his beautiful backyard. So
thanks for taking 5 minutes for me, Bo.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we lined up some good questions for you here. All right, man. So how's quarantine life going?
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind not driving to the races so much, for a change, but, no money coming in. So, yeah, it's kind of rough. But other than that, I mean, we're all right. We're just chilling.
Man, it looks beautiful where you're at right now.
Oh, yes. My backyard.
Oh, the first question right on topic. Is it true you have a track in the backyard?
Yeah, I've got a track in the back. It's not very big, but it's something to ride,
That was the follow-up. This is how long is it?
It's short, dude. It's under a minute lap time for sure.
So the Salt Man on Instagram reached out, and he doesn't have a question, but he wants to thank you for being an inspiration and pushing him to be the best he can on a quad. You're a hero in his eyes.
Well, that's cool.
And then this guy, Brandon Schofel, wants to know if you remember getting hole shotted by him at 333 MX.
Yeah. They put the pros and pro-ams together on this motocross race, and he got the start. And it was cool, man. It took me a little bit to get around him, but he was riding good, and he's a good kid. I like his family.
Yeah, right on. That must have been a highlight for him.
For sure.
Infamous Christine says, what is the best way you have found to attract sponsors? Do you have to be super involved in social media?
Not necessarily my sponsors, because I'm not super good at social media. It's more of like just long-lasting relationships. You just try to build up a relationship, and the best thing I found is just don't switch around, on your sponsors all the time. You try to stay consistent and do the best you can to stay with the guys that are helping you, and they'll become more reliable, and be willing to help you. Instead of just dropping somebody for something a little bit better here, I guess I'd say I'm a lot more, not sure what you call it, but I try to stick with my sponsors the best I can, Like I have a relationship with almost all my sponsors. I can just call them up on the phone, it's not like I've known them for a long time, and that helps a lot.
ATR 85. Why is it you that they always have these questions? How many beers a day does your training program include?
I don't know. Usually not too many. I try to keep it low key, especially lately. I've just since I've been home, I've been trying to ride motos, in the back as much as I can, and trying to get in better shape, because normally when we're on the road, we're just on the road, and then during the week I'm working on side by sides and everything, and I'm just working on equipment, and that's when I crack a beer, and I just I'm in the shop working on stuff, and like, since I haven't been doing that much side by side maintenance or race stuff, I just been riding my dirt bike and my quad, so like a lot less maintenance at home right now, and so not quite as much drinking.
So are your machines ready to go for the next race already, or you still have work to do?
I still have work to do. We're waiting on parts. We're just waiting on parts. I think some parts, from Japan and other places are lacking right now. We need them, and for some reason they haven't been able to ship them out. So, I mean, obviously we know why, but
yeah. What's your favorite restaurant?
Let's see. Where's my favorite? Which one?
Yeah.
Well, I do love, my whole family. We love to go to sushi when we get a chance, but I think my favorite would have to be this Italian restaurant, and because I never get to go there. It's bad for you, so I don't eat there. But it is my favorite when I take it upon myself to just grind down what I shouldn't.
Right on, man. So where's your favorite place to go play ride at?
I don't know. I like riding out in the hills, with my boys, mainly on dirt bikes, just because there's not too many guys around here that race ATVs. But I like to ride out in the hills. Like I'll take a couple hour trip over to Taft after it rains and build some lips in the side of hills and stuff like that. That's my favorite play riding. And then I also like getting down to it on sand tracks too, like putting in pounding out sand motos. It's pretty fun. I don't know why. I guess it's the feeling you get afterwards after your beat, but I enjoy doing that also.
Do you have a favorite place to stop on your way to a Worcs race?
Sometimes we stop into Hatchby to go to a restaurant, and I can park my rig behind it. I think it was, I don't know, I can't remember what they changed it to, but the name used to be City Slickers, and I used to like to stop there. It's a good resting point, like on the way back from Vegas or wherever. Like stop there, pull in, eat some dinner, sleep, and then go the rest of the way home.
Man, just one last question for you. This is pretty simple. How much longer do you plan on racing for?
As long as I can. I'm gonna run it out till as long as I can. I got the tools to go back and work construction, but I really don't want to drive a tractor.
Yeah. Do you have any plans for after you're done?
Yeah, I there's a few things that's gone through my mind, like I'm going to try to do I mean, I used to do dirt bike lessons like every time I'd get hurt when I was racing outdoors, and so I guess I could start off trying to do lessons, with the ATV thing because I have a decent name, and then if that doesn't work out, then I'll probably just like I said, load up my tractors and go to work.
And well, thanks for giving me 10 minutes of your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
We'll
not a problem.
Load it up for everybody to watch.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be out of this soon, and we'll be out there racing. We'll see you out there.
Yeah, it'll be good. I can't wait.
Last but not least, we have those crazy Miller brothers out in Greenville, Texas.
Hunter, maybe you could make your face not look so wide. Maybe you could grow a beard like a man and get rid of that double chin. Look at your double chin. If I needed to cover up a double chin like you, I would grow a beard.
You gotta hold it up.
Look at it. Tell him he has one right there.
You know how sharp the power line is? I wasn't an accident.
Back to Cody Miller. What's up, guys?
What's going on? What's up, Brian?
So earlier I played that video of you on the lake when you're about to capsize in that wind. What happened out there? The storm ran in on you?
Yeah, so I've been fishing just about every day out here lately because, work is slow and the weather is beautiful and there's nobody out. So we've been trying to make the most of our downtime. And, after we get our projects done in the morning, I've been going out fishing in the afternoon. But long story short, I've been out every day and hadn't caught but like a couple of fish. And the fishing was just turning on yesterday, and all the birds were like flocking to this one spot. And we blasted over there, and I could kind of see the storm cell coming, but we started catching fish and quit paying attention to the weather that was coming in. And the next thing you know, it was like 50-mile-an-hour wind and 5-foot waves, and the pontoon boat was getting pretty violent. So we blasted out of there as quick as we could, but it was pretty wild. We had an excellent time, but we left the lake, went to Walmart, bought some more dry clothing, went back to the lake, and caught like 20 more fish.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw him leaving to go fishing, and my phone just popped up and said severe thunderstorm warning is coming in, and I thought there's no way they're going fishing at the lake. They have to be just putting that on our pond to go fishing. And sure enough, next thing I know, I see a video of them out there about drowning, and I think, what idiots. I mean, seriously.
So our first Instagram question was, what have you guys been doing during the day? Cody, you kind of answered that already.
Yeah, we're working on cars. We've got all of these cars, these race cars from the season that are torn apart after Lake Havasu. Everything has to come apart and get cleaned up and put back together. And then we've got these pre-runner cars over here that are kind of going back together after the King of the Hammer. So, we've got a lot of loose-ended projects and just trying to finish stuff up.
What about you, Hunter?
Yeah, same thing. Cody's kind of showing you. We got stuff all tore apart, and we've got new cars that we're going to start building here soon, hopefully. And, we didn't have a lot of downtime with racing Worcs and Texplex every weekend. So this has given us some time to kind of recharge batteries and get everything cleaned up and catch up on some things that we're letting kind of slack behind.
So this is also, you guys are in the glass shop too, right?
Yeah, as you can see over here, this is where that's our glass track over there. We call that the Glass Dragon because it looks like a dragonfly. Sandblast machine, paint machine. Dwayne over there doing some layout and some big, thick pieces of glass. Massive printer over there. We do it all.
How long you guys been racing?
Forever. Too long. We got started whenever I was like 9 years old. And I'm 32 now. So, yeah, quite a while.
Fingers and toes to add that up.
Yeah, I don't have that many, but I think 23 years. Do the math, see if that's right.
Who is better?
Who's better? Look.
Oh.
It's on the yellow car. That'd be mine. That over there, that's the number 2. You're only as good as your last race. What'd Cody get at Havasu? What did he get, Brian? I think you were there. I got 4.
Was I there? I don't know if I was there or not. I can't remember.
I got like 13. Never mind.
What'd I get? Oh, first. I forgot.
Hey, Cody, a girl wrote in and wants to know if you remember her from Kingman, Arizona.
I don't know. I might know a friend. Well, we're not talking about that.
Hunter, how long have you been married for? Do you have any plans for kids?
Been married 7 years. Together I think 15. So long time. I guess probably kids at some point. Too young for that right now, though. That's for sure.
For the both of you, how long do you plan on racing, and what do you plan on doing afterwards?
I'm never going to quit racing. Eventually, I'll just be racing something that I can't get in and out of, like a wheelchair.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the beauty of side-by-sides is, obviously you can do it forever. It's not like back when we were racing motocross and age puts a cap on how long you can do it. Long as your coordination stays sharp and you can have the strength to turn the steering wheel and press the gas pedal, I think you're in pretty good shape on those. So not planning on retiring anytime soon.
Definitely whenever you get a little bit older, you're not quite as sharp as you used to be, but I know some people out there that are, in their 60s that are still racing side-by-sides competitively. So that will definitely be us. As long as we have a place to race and some support, we're going to keep racing.
What's your favorite foods?
Mexican food, 100%.
Yeah. Is that even a question?
I don't think so. Not for me, at least.
It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner Mexican food around here.
Good Mexican food, though, because out here, there's no such thing.
Here, that's the only thing we get. So
yeah, that's literally all it is.
Favorite movies?
Quentin Tarantino movies.
I would have guessed The Notebook for you, but okay.
No, 50 Shades of Grey.
I don't get to watch movies. My wife's always got Housewives or something on, so I go over there and play Call of Duty.
She a Bravo girl?
Yeah.
Kill Bill, Killer Joe. Awesome Quentin Tarantino movies.
Killer Joe's not a Tarantino movie.
Insta James wants to know if you guys follow any nutrition plans.
Mexican. No, we do absolutely nothing to stay in shape. Honestly, this is all natural.
Where's your favorite place to race?
Johnson Valley.
Good answer.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to throw that in there.
Yeah, didn't take me long.
Florida.
I was gonna throw it in there when you said who's better,
but we haven't
but
been there in years.
What was that, Cody?
Florida used to be one of my favorite places to race, but we haven't been there in years. Just that was one of the old GNCC things that was pretty awesome. But yeah, like I said, that's all over and done with now. So I don't know. It's kind of a toss up. There's a lot of Worcs tracks that I really enjoy, but Texplex is becoming one of my favorite places to race lately because it's just extremely competitive and it's huge passing opportunities where most of the places that we ever race on a side by side is like extremely hard to pass.
Where's your favorite place to go play riding?
We don't get to. I like Glamis. I think Glamis is just freaking awesome. Hunter's scared of it though. He don't like the sand dunes. They scare him when they see it.
yeah.
You don't like the sand, Hunter?
No, it's terrifying.
He can't see good. He's got them old eyes,
Yeah.
Last question. I already know the answer for Hunter because the question is favorite place to stop on your way to a Worcs race. Hunter, it's going to be DFW.
My favorite place to stop is
Kingman, Arizona.
The Big Texan Steak Ranch in Amarillo.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I never miss it on my way out.
I got me a T-shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that place has got some steaks.
Well, that's it, boys.
All right, man.
All right, Brian. Well, it's good to see that you've been well, and we're looking forward to getting back out there.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully pretty soon.